Hey everyone, so today I went to have my PEP test done, and we have a lot of construction, they're repairing things, so a lot of our bus routes are diverted, which meant that a trip where I would normally just take one subway down and then get a bus, I had to take 2 buses. So I always plan, I give myself at least an hour to get to appointments, and then coming back I was able to walk up to Lawrence and Bathurst and then get the bus. I had to take 2 buses down. It would have been 3, but I walked up. So then I changed at Lawrence and Bathurst and I got the bus down. But at least I have the option of the bus, and I'm part of the general population. I use the buses, I use the TTC here. I don't have a car, so that's how I get around. And it makes it a little easier if you don't have to walk. When the weather is nice, I do walk to some of my appointments, but especially when it's raining, when it's cold, it would be better to have a car, because then you can get into your car and you can go and use the GPS and all of that, but I don't have that. So at least I have the public transit available, and living in the city and living in this location, that helps because it's close to the subway, it's close to the grocery stores, and if I'm on my own, like when I do my groceries, I do like 2 or 3 trips to the grocery store to get what I want, because I can't carry everything. They do offer a delivery option now with some of the stores if you pay a little extra, but again, when you're cutting costs, you have to think about those things too. So for me, for the PEP test, it's something that the government of Canada sets up. They send you a letter in the mail to say that you have to go, and right now it's every 5 years. So I haven't done one for quite a while, and I went to have it done. It was very, very busy, and the doctor told me I don't have to have it. She would send a letter to my doctor, but I said, no, it's okay, I want to do it because I came all this way and I got there early. I got there at least 30 minutes early, and then I waited, and my appointment was delayed because somebody who was supposed to be there for a 3 o'clock appointment only came in at 3:15, which was my scheduled time. So in that way, at least there's things set up, there's systems set up where we know we have to get the test done, because if you do land up getting cancer and they catch it early, they can treat you. It's not to say that you have to be sexually active or you have to not be, because things are changing all the time. And the way that science tests things and the way that diseases evolve, I just felt it was better if I go and actually get the test done. And then that way I know either way what's happening. So that's what I did today. After I did my John Maxwell and I had something to eat, and then I just got back now. So it makes for a long day, but at least I know that it's taken care of and it's done, because I didn't want to take a risk to say, okay, if that's fine, if you don't want me to do it, because I went all the way. So now I know that it's taken care of, and I know that whatever it is, hopefully it comes back clear, which I'm sure it will be, because I'm not sexually active. I haven't had any sexual relations with anybody since I came to Canada. And when people are tracking you and following you and wanting to know where you are, you can't have a relationship anyway, because it just makes it very stressful and it makes it very unpleasant. If you can't even go to a movie without people calling people to tell them where you are and where you're going and what you're doing, it makes it very, very, very unsettling, and it doesn't make for a nice way of living. So I didn't like it, and I don't like it. But, whatever is going on, for some reason, people decided to pick on me and have me tracked and have me followed and all this kind of thing. So, I really don't know what their problem is, but I hope I will get back to a place in my life where I can move about freely without being tracked and followed, and no, I can't even go to a movie without being tracked. My friend used to tell me you should fart, then they can track your fart also. But anyway, it's the ice storm, all the ice has melted here, which is nice, but it is still very windy and it is still very cold. And I'm glad I got it done, and I have more tests and more appointments coming up. But thankfully it happens usually just once a year, and then that's it, it's done. And that's part of the volunteering I do when I help in the church, when I give money to the church or other places. It's because there are other women in my position who don't have access to the treatment that I do, to the tests that I do that can help them to stay healthy, to stay well. And so I'm making an investment by doing my volunteering in them and in people in other parts of the world, whether it's India or Asia or Africa. There are other people like me, and they might be very highly educated, highly qualified, but they don't have access to good paid jobs. And that also limits what you can do in life. Just like me, I'm highly qualified, I'm highly skilled, but I don't have access to those good paid jobs. So it's unfortunate, but that's what happens when women come together, when people come together. We change things, and it doesn't happen as fast as we would like, but we do change things, and that's why I don't give up, and I won't give up. I will keep doing what I'm doing, because I know that my situation could be even worse than it is now. Because if all the women and men just step back and say, oh well, you know, that's how it is, it's not going to change, then yes, it's not going to change. But because of people like me who are not willing to give up, who are not willing to just continue taking minimum wage, just continue being discriminated against, just continue being treated roughshod, and just people continuing to ignore us, we're refusing to take it. We're coming together, we're organizing, we're meeting in churches, we're meeting in small groups, we're meeting online, and together we're lobbying our governments and we're getting things to change. And it does work, because I can assure you our minimum wage here in Canada is higher than the minimum wage in America. And with the Buy Canada movement, there are changes coming. The Americans wanted to hurt us, but they landed up hurting themselves. And they will continue to land up hurting themselves, because Canadians are coming together and they are buying Canadian, and they're using that buying power to strengthen Canada. So it's not easy, but in the end, I think it will be worth it, because it took perseverance to study, to get my master's, to get my certifications in HR, to train to be a spiritual director, to train to be a Maxwell speaker. It took perseverance, it took dedication, it took willingness to learn, it took a willingness to adapt, it took strength, it took courage, and I did all that. And I built my skills up over the years, and I'm not giving up. If I came this far, I'm not giving up. If I have to relocate to England to get that good executive assistant job, or go to Australia, or go somewhere else where I can earn well, I'm willing to do it. But I'm not willing to give up. That's one thing I'm not willing to do, because I didn't come this far to give up. And there are people who have encountered worse things than me that didn't give up. So even if I've got high blood pressure, even if I've got anxiety, even if I've got underlying anger because of how I've been treated and what's been done to me, I will never give up, because I accomplished what I did through God's grace, and I don't believe God's plan for me is to land up living on welfare the rest of my life, not having a good paid job, not having stability, being pushed from one place to the other, being made to sleep on the floor, because that's what I did. When I first came, when I got my apartment, I slept on the floor. Then I got a futon, then I got a bed. So I built myself up slowly, and I'm going to continue doing that, and I'm going to continue investing in my skills until I find that company that's going to say, we value you, we are promoting you, and we're going to give you a good paid job, and we're going to look after you. and your health matters. You don't have to work overnight, you don't have to take graveyard shifts, you don't have to work in unsafe conditions. And bad things have happened in Canada. People always look to the outside, but we've had women killed here in Montreal. We've had women shot to death just because they were women and they wanted to work and come up in life, and we've had things like that happen here. So just wanted to share that with you because I know people are watching me who are in Africa. I know that you guys are learning from me and you're taking the systems and you're implementing it, and that's good. That's what you should be doing. Because I know when the sisters and the nuns and all of them came to Africa, they started all the hospitals and everything the same way they did in Canada. Now it's all secular, but you can still try to implement the systems and you can still try to get them going and look after. When the population is looked after, the general people like me who are not in cars and who do not own property, when we start coming up, that's when things start to change. And by organizing small groups, by meeting in churches, by meeting online, that's how we change things and we get things done. When I used to volunteer with the Liberals, and I'm not with them anymore, all their meetings were in churches in this area, all the local churches. So I could walk to them, and there were some at local pubs and things. So I don't go to many of the conservative things because they're too far away for me, but I've been to one or two, which are like at the local pubs and things nearby. But if it's too far for me now, if it means taking 2, 3 buses, 4 buses, I just don't go. Because when I went to the Liberal things, they were all within walking distance. And the only one I went to was a town hall where we had to go to Marco Mendocino's office. And then from there were buses to take us and to bring us back. So when you organize, when people organize, then things can change. And this thing of organizing and the unions and all that, it started in the church. So it's not something that's foreign. It always starts in the church. And that's how it goes out from there.